Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at our last part for lesson 1.3. Today we're going to talk about response bias. Response bias is a pattern of inaccurate data. This could be due to lying, interviewer questions, wording, etc. Okay, so you will see a couple of spots where it says identify what is wrong in each survey. I want you to go ahead and pause the video here, go through each example, and identify what's wrong, and if you think they overestimated or underestimated the question. Okay, hopefully you got a chance to take a look at those surveys. Here, pause the video and check your answers for each of the surveys. And now we're going to take some notes over our different types of response bias. So our first one is undercoverage. A portion of your population is not adequately surveyed or purposefully left out. This is different from something called voluntary response. Voluntary response is when participants personally choose to participate. So this would be like when there's an online survey that you can fill out for a company or like someone's Instagram poll. That would be a voluntary response. Undercoverage bias is the example like the mayor of Springfield only called people with landlines. So that was purposely leaving out people that don't have landlines, and you're not going to get an adequate sample of the people by only calling landlines. Next, we have non-response bias. A high percent of participants do not respond, and or the data from the group that did respond is most likely systematically different than those that did not respond. An example here would be in our survey where the principal sent a survey to students through the email and only 40% answered. That's a high percentage that did not answer. And those that did answer, those that checked their emails, filled out the survey, they're more likely to have done their homework than those that didn't. That's that systematic difference. Then we have a question wording bias. The wording of the question can systematically influence the participants' answers. For example, if you just ask someone, "Do you watch cartoons?" That could be an answer that they give. But a way that you can word that would be, "Do you still watch cartoons?" And you're asking in a way that maybe you're insinuating that they're too old to watch cartoons. And then that may make them change their answers. Then we've got additional information. Providing additional information to the questions can influence participants to choose a certain response. So an example of an unbiased question would be, "Do you prefer milk or OJ for breakfast?" Then a biased way to word that question with additional information would be, "Milk contains high levels of vitamin D and calcium. Do you prefer milk or OJ for breakfast?" So there, adding that information about the milk might make people be like, "Oh, I'm going to say milk because it's got the calcium and the vitamin D, and that's good for me." Some people might not be influenced by these different biases. Then we have characteristics of an interviewer. The way that an interviewer presents themselves to the participants can influence the response. We saw this in the third example. Peter M. He was asking participants about the Boy Scouts while wearing his Boy Scout uniform. So people might want to be nice because they know he's part of the Boy Scouts, so they want to say nice things about the Boy Scouts. So that's an example of characteristics of an interviewer. Anonymity can also affect how participants answer. A participant's response is influenced if they are allowed to remain anonymous or not. If we sent an anonymous survey to students that asking, "Do you cheat?" They may give a different answer than if we sent a non-anonymous survey that recorded their email addresses or their names and asked, "Do you cheat?" And finally, we have revealing other people's answers. Revealing how other people have answered the question can influence the participant's response. For example, you could ask the question, "Do you brush your teeth before bed?" Then, to reveal other people's answers, you might say 92% of people brush their teeth before bed. Do you brush your teeth before bed? Having that pressure of knowing that so many people said yes, they do, then you feel pressured to say yes.